Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 49 of Some Random. This is the second episode of season 2. I am your host, Roger Flash, and with me today, the wonderful, the beautiful, the magnificent, I hope I pronounced this right because I've never said it out loud, Velius. Velius, how are you?
I'm okay, and yourself?
I was not doing so hot. I'm nursing a hangover. To get over that, I just started drinking again. A couple beers, knocked that one back. But now I'm talking to you, so my day is. Hold on, that's for the microphone. There we go.
Gotta get the ambiance in.
Yeah, exactly. I want this to be an ASMR of drunk Sriracha Flash doing an interview. I'm not drunk. It's just 2 beers. Everyone, calm down. But now my day is better that I'm talking to you, my friend. So who's the gayest woman in Street Fighter V?
Jury.
Jury?
No doubt.
Oh yeah,
Jury is the absolute gayest.
Yeah. That's
like I really want the answer to be Colleen because that's who I play, but for me it has to be Jury because I've spent way too long in Street Fighter 4 with Jury.
That's fair. Before I was hip to the lore, I was like, so why is Jury just like the BDSM like woman that I've been looking through Pornhub for? And then I kind of find out she's just like, bah, kind of a tease, but she really might be the gayest woman in all of Street Fighter. Street Fighter history, maybe.
And it's like Chun-Li is the straight girl who keeps rejecting her advances.
Oh, 100%. 100% and a half. And then Laura just kind of goes with it, but she's not really gay. She's just bi. She's just
cool with all of it.
Yeah. And, alright, so I guess I should come out and be like, hey, everyone, you know me. This isn't a knock against the gay community. We're just having some laughs. Boop, 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 boop. Like, come on, y'all. I feel like I have to throw that out ahead of time because I don't want anyone to take this and be like, Sriracha Flash is actually problematic. And I'm like, come on, dog. We're just having some jokes. Alright, but Velius, before we continue on with this goddamn show, why don't you tell the people who the hell are you?
So I am Velius. I am 32 years old. I'm actually fairly new to the actual FGC. There is a backstory behind that, but I'll get into that later. I mostly have played Street Fighter for my life. I started off with Super Turbo on the SNES way back in the day. I'm a member of EST, which has been a thing for me since September of last year. Other than that, I'm just a random scrub on the internet, and I enjoy it a lot.
Hey, listen, we all are. That's why I do this goddamn show. That's all of us random scrubs get together and we like to talk shit and have a good time. So you're a recent member of EST. I didn't realize you were since September of last year. You haven't even hit the 1-year review mark yet. Oh my god.
I'm barely quarterly right now.
Oh, you have no benefits. They haven't put anything into the IRA for you yet.
Nope, not yet. My retirement fund is still dry.
No dental, I'm assuming. Good lord. Jay, you cheap fuck. I swear to God. Tell him I said that to you. I'll tell him I said that. I'll just clip that and send it to him. I'll just tell him he's a cheap fuck. I love Jay. What a sweetheart. But anyway. Oh my gosh. Alright, so where does Velius come from? And again, I hope I pronounce it. I heard you pronounce it, but I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Cause I was told I pronounced bison wrong for some fucking reason. So now I'm self-conscious of everything that I pronounce.
Now you second guess everything.
Now like fucking Yango, it was in here the other day going, you say bison weird. And I was like, what the fuck? Goddamn North Dakota country boys out here telling me I pronounce bison wrong.
That's how I pronounce bison.
Yeah, right?
Bison.
Yeah, bison. Like, what the... Whatever. Hey, fuck you, Yango. Anyways, so where does Velius come from?
So, I have been playing Final Fantasy Tactics since it came out in '98. And one of my favorite characters is Ygraf from that game.
Okay.
And he turns into a creature called a Zodiac Brave by the name of Velius in the original translation. And Velius, like Belias in the War of the Lions rendition.
Okay.
Like the corrected English is technically what it's supposed to be, but the '98 version has a lot of Japan English stuff in it, like a lot of mistranslations. So I just ran with the original because I'm old, and that's the way I like to spell it.
Hey, look, that's perfectly fine. All right, so I'm looking up an image of Belius right now because I had to know and I had to see. Uh, I like all right. So the last time that I played Final Fantasy Tactics, I was but a wee lad. I was like I don't even think I had hit puberty yet the last time I played this game. So much of my memory of this is gone. That being said, uh, Belius looks fucking way cooler than I remember. Uh,
Yeah.
no, I can't find the fucking picture that I just saved. Jesus Christ in heaven. Um,
Massive four-armed sheep demon, and it's amazing, and I love it.
yeah. Oh my god, it's fucking cool as shit. If I wish I could put it on the screen for people. Hey, there we go. There it is. Hey, look at that. We did it. We did it. All right. So for anyone that's watching the VOD, you can see, fucking excellent and a half. On the right there. This is what we give a shit about. We don't care about these sub demons over here. Fuck them. Belius is dope. All right, so the name is derived from this wonderful creature.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's dope. I appreciate when people take like shit from other games, like especially lesser known things, because like this has been wiped from my memory for 15 years. So when I hear shit like this, I'm like, oh yeah, that was like a thing. I really like when people have like niche things from games as their names, or like references to things. I appreciate the fuck out of that.
And the main reason why I couldn't really take Y-graph as, especially with my pronouns being they them. I didn't want to take the name of a male character to use. So since Velius is technically gender neutral because it's a supernatural demon, I just adopted that instead. And Y-graph's background in the game is, like a peasant who worked his way up into knighthood and then gets screwed over by the aristocracy. So I thought, how fitting.
But what a perfect way to go with it. Yeah, no, that's excellent. So all right, so I hopefully I'm not prying too much, but do you mind if we talk about the they them pronouns and how you identify?
Sure.
Okay. So I guess let's just start at the top. So what? All right, I guess just walk me through it because I don't want to ask a question and sound like an inconsiderate dickhead.
So like I guess the easiest way to describe. I'm assuming you mean like how did I realize that I came across like my pronouns?
Yeah.
And like
yeah, that's a good way of phrasing the question. How did you discover like this is who I am?
So I had a bit of a rough upbringing. I had a very stringent. My father is Korean, and he was a very ardent supporter of the tiger parenting lifestyle. Uh, there was also a lot of very strict adaptation to like social norms, which led me to explore a lot of stuff by myself. So I did come along a lot later than a lot of my peers, but I knew like my identity and my sexuality when I was in middle school, probably, and still going to Bible camp. But I just never told anyone. Uh, and I didn't even really start openly using these pronouns until last year because I never really felt like I was in like a safe space enough to risk using them.
Mm-hmm.
Just I was aware of everything when I was like very young. I have very clear memory attached to like realizing, oh, the gender binary is bullshit.
The fishing rod.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just
Oh, no, go right ahead. I just
that's
got
just my there's no real like interesting story to it. It's just like like I realized it one day and then didn't feel like I was comfortable enough to be out and about with it. So I just stayed closeted on that department until I felt safe enough to actually come out and use it. So I've been going with like a lot of old friends of mine still use like masculine pronouns for me, and I don't always correct them because I'm also not out to everyone yet in my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my old friends know me as like a he and him, so I don't often correct them, and it's not for me personally anyway. It's not it's not something that I like hold against them or anything because that's just 20 plus years of habit is a hard thing to break anyway.
Right.
So I try my best not to like take it personal, and I normally don't, but I do have my preference for is they them. Anyone who has known me since last year and everything, I would expect them to use they them.
Yeah,
So
and that's one of those things that like when someone brings it to your attention, it's not something that's hard to correct or do. I feel like yeah, like as a whole, because had we known each other beforehand, and you were like, from here on out, I'd like to go by they them. Like that's just how I feel comfortable. I go and perfect immediately. Like yeah, like that's easy enough.
yeah.
Do you know Velius? Yeah, I met them. Like I know who they are. Like boom, boom, boom. Like I don't want to say I know who they is because that sounds weird. Because but yeah, no, like it's simple shit like that, and I mean I don't want to get on a soapbox and be like that shit bugs me, like when someone can't do that, but I don't know, you guys, it's not that fucking hard to just be like, hey, all right, they want to go by they them, they would like to be referred to as he him, or they want to be referred to as she her, like that shit's just I don't know, it's second nature once you get used to it and like get comfortable I feel like it's getting comfortable with yourself, because I feel like for a lot of people it's like insecurity of being like I don't know if I can do this because it reveals something about myself to other people. I don't know, it's a very weird thing, and I don't want to go down a line of it because I'm sure I'm not smart enough to understand and comprehend details of people who don't recognize pronouns for other folk, but I don't know, that's just me.
It's also like a very personal thing for a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
And like people just coming out about having pronouns just amongst the entire spectrum of pronouns. It's a very like personal thing for a lot of people, but it's really not difficult for anyone to just adapt one word of language.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very easy to adapt. Like my son, when he transitioned, I mean, even though he's a fucking asshole because he's a teenager, I can still be like, that fucking, he's a fucking dickhead. But those are your kids. Like, it fucking is what it is. But yeah, but I would never get angry and be like, you fucking, like, I don't know, I wouldn't use feminine pronouns to be mad at him, since he's transitioned. But it's great. It's great. All right, so allow me, as a parent of a trans person, I know he can probably hear me, so he's probably like upset and embarrassed right now, but like I don't give a shit. So the best part about like being the parent of a trans kid is now I can just fuck with him on another level. Like I can just like and not like bash him for being trans, but kind of I don't know. All right, so here's an example. My favorite joke, and this happens all the time. So for a little bit, he went by non-binary, and now he's like, I never did. That's just what I said. Fuck you. You went by non-binary. So I would like when he did dumb shit, I would call him non-brainary because it's fucking hilarious. Like non-brainary is a good joke. And then he'd be like, well, at least I don't have dumb hetero brains. And I'd be like, bah, hetero brains. And like, it's great. But now I can just fuck with him on like an LGBT level, which is a whole other, like, in a loving way, it is the best. I hope no one clips this and they're like, Sriracha Flash fucks with this trans kid. But like...
Well, I mean, it's like they always say, you troll the ones that you love.
Exactly. And like, oh man, it is the best. Like, I couldn't imagine, like, because at first, if I'm being honest, at first we were like, is this something you want to do? Like, because I was new to it. We live in a small town. Like, as comfortable as I am with people wanting to live their best life, to have it on a personal level was very, very new to me. Because I've had gay and lesbian like members of my family and friends, but to have it, within my family, like specifically at the time, my daughter, who is now my son, I was like, don't know how to handle this. I'll just fucking go with it. So we were like, are you sure? Like, and if you are sure, we'll 100% support you. But get your shit together, like in life, like like don't be so focused on this that you forget who you are as a person. Like,
Yeah.
Be you, be a male, do all that fun shit. But remember, like, you still got to get a job and work and shit like that. So, like, well, let's keep working towards those goals and make sure that you are successful in life. So that way, no one can say anything about you being trans or anything else. Like, you'll be fucking great. And then, like, over time, it's just gotten easier to be like, bah, this is fucking Ben. Lily died, I guess. Fucking now it's Ben. So,
It's
but
always just best to have that kind of upbringing where it cannot be weaponized against you, in my opinion.
yeah, like, I don't know. And don't be wrong, like, I slip sometimes, and I'm not perfect. And he's been very cool about, like, I don't mind if you guys use my dead name, which is Lily, and stuff like that. And I'm like, I fucking tried, but, like, for the longest time, we just called him Willis because, like, Willis is, like, a fun take on Lily. So I just use fucking Willis because I'm like, that's a masculine name. That fucking Willis works well enough. I know you want to go by Ben, but Willis sounds cool. Fucking so we'll meet in the middle. And I don't know. I just couldn't imagine not allowing yourself to be like, I'll make a change for someone that wants to be changed and identify differently. Like it's just one of those things, man.
It's something that should be easy, and for certain people, it doesn't appear to be easy for whatever reason, but it really just should be.
Right, but I'll get off my fucking soapbox. Just like, y'all, if your kids turn out to be trans, just be like, fucking great. Like, I'm still gonna, like, beat your ass at anything that you want to do. Like, I'm still your parent. Like, I'm still, like, better than you at everything. That's what I do. I'm still better than you at everything. So, like, don't come to me. I'm fucking...
I'm still the winner at Super Turbo.
Oh, 100%.
Remember that.
Don't fuck with me, all right? Don't fuck with me. This is going to, like, I swear to God, someone's going to listen to this specific part and be like, what the fuck is he on about? So I will just move past it.
One of my teammate Lamo has heard through the ether me whisper Super Turbo and is now thinking, oh, I got to play some Super Turbo right now.
Oh, Lamo probably is. 100%. Lamo's like, someone in Ye said Super Turbo. I'm a fucking...
Like, I feel a disturbance.
Yeah.
Super Turbo it is.
All right, my fight Kate isn't on yet. So, all right, now we're in it. So, I mean, I guess... no, I won't count that. So I guess we'll go into you've already exposed quite a bit about yourself, which I appreciate. So, but what is something about you that most people would be surprised to find out or surprised to learn?
I actually struggled with this question because I honestly don't think there's that much that's interesting about me.
Oh.
I think the only thing at this point that surprises people is that I'm a hospital worker.
Oh, shit, that's news to me.
Yeah, a lot of people think that I'm like a bouncer or something. Like, I'm 6'2", and I've taken like some form of martial arts my entire life, and like it's very clear that I have like I guess physically imposing stature.
Mm.
I don't describe myself that way at all, but certain other people just place me in the category of do not fuck with for whatever reason. I don't think I look that threatening. Like I try to just be a nice person, but I don't know. Just some people like I've been confused, but I'm not a nurse. I'm a tech in a hospital. I don't have like any authority for anything. I just get the shit beaten out of me every now and again. But I've had people assume that I'm a nurse. I've had people assume that I'm a doctor. I've had people assume that I'm a patient. I've had like everyone guess that I'm everything except a tech.
Well, all right. So when you say tech, are we talking like X-ray tech? Are you phlebotomist? Is that the word, phlebotomist? Phlebotomist is the vampires, the ones that take your blood, right? All right, perfect.
Yes, that's a phlebotomist.
Okay.
I'm a psychiatric tech.
Okay, all right. Oh, goddamn, that's better than both the ones that I fucking listed. Good googly moogly.
Well, those both pay more than what I get paid, so.
Oh, wow, I fucking... I have a friend who's an X-ray tech. I just realized that, like, I'm going to use Michigan talk for someone that's not from Michigan. But I have a friend who is in Midland, and he's an X-ray tech there. And first I was like, hey, man, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. Then I found out how much money he's making, and I'm like, man, fuck you.
Yeah, X-ray techs make a shit ton especially compared to what I make.
Oh my god, fucking. Well, look, to be fair, at least you're making some money. Fucking is what it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
everyone got to eat. Listen, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm just jealous, is all.
Yeah. You and me
not
both.
not condemning them. I'm just jealous.
Yeah. All right. So the way I like to phrase it is, I have three friends that are doctors, even though they're not doctors. But they all like work in and around hospitals. But it just sounds cooler when I'm like, I have three doctor friends. One's an X-ray tech. One actually is a doctor, kind of. She's a surgeon tech. So she's better with her hands than I am, I guess. And then I have a friend who is what's paramedic? Yeah, a paramedic. There we go. He does emergency transport and everything like that. But I just found out how much he's getting paid, and for the longest time when he was just driving the ambulance, I was like, oh man, they're really fucking you over because he was getting paid like $10 an hour, and I was like, I can't believe like that's all they're paying you. That's bullshit. And now that he's a full on paramedic, I'm like, man, why don't we scale those wages back a little bit? I don't know if you need that much money with how irresponsible you are.
Like I know you personally.
Yeah, I know him. I think better than most people on this planet know him, and I'm just like, I don't think you need that much money. I think you put that shit away. That's what that is. But no, that's actually super interesting that you work in a hospital as a psychiatric tech. You're actually the second person I've asked this specific question to who's like work in a hospital. The other being Lemmy Hawkins, who is in Germany. And after he graduated high school, they were like, well, you have to do military service or do something that helps like the civil arena. And he was like, go work in a hospital. And so they just fucking put him in a hospital for 2 years. Which like at 18, they're just like, all right, here's where the dead bodies go. Go help the ER. And I'm like, what the? Germany doesn't fuck around, I guess.
They do not.
Oh my God in heaven. Okay, so but off of all that now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of what this show is all about. What got you into fighting games in the first place?
So, I actually have just never really considered taking fighting games competitively until recently. Like I've always played them at like, no, I've always played just whatever was around mostly. I played Super Tober when I was a kid. Uh, I didn't play like any Street Fighter 3 until Third Strike came out, and that was only because there happened to be like one cab near where I lived at the time. I played a lot of like the old Mortal Kombat games, including the god awful ones from like the PS2 era. So,
You mean the best ones? Thank you very much.
the
The broken as shit 3D ones.
So just, I really don't know where it changed for me personally. I just remember thinking I need something to play. So then I started just playing everything from like Uniel to eventually Eunice, and then picking up Guilty Gear more seriously, and then eventually I landed on just playing Third Strike a lot. And I'm still bad, but it's just my kind of like go-to. It's just my like go-to default. I need to relax after work. I'm gonna boot up Third Strike.
Oh damn! Yeah, I need to relax after work. I need to boot up Third Strike. Is the oxymoron of oxymorons if I've ever heard one.
It's just what I'm used to, though. You know, like it's.
No,
I don't know, just.
I mean, I get it. It's just like, nah, I need to get these red berries off in order to blow off steam. Fuck out of here.
That's if anything sums me up as a person, it's basically an actual walking oxymoron. So.
Well, all right. So I'll circle back to this in a little bit. So I'll put a pen in it for now, or pin in it. Not a pin in it. A pin in it. Good lord. Maybe those beers are catching up to me. I'll put a pin in it for now. But take me back even further. So what was your first video game? What got you started down this dark degenerate path with the rest of us in the first place?
The original Mario Brothers on the NES.
Oh yeah. Now we're talking.
And then after that would be Super Mario World. Would be the technically the third one because I played Duck Hunt along with Mario Brothers.
Okay.
Those are like my first two, and then the SNES came out, and then Super Mario World became like my life as a kid.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it was like the Mortal Kombat that came out on SNES was also another early fighting game that I played. And then with Super Turbo, because I would just troll everyone with Dhalsim.
Man, when you're a kid and like
Kid.
when you're an asshole kid and like you pick Dhalsim and like everyone else like I don't know how to fucking do this and you're just crouch like fierce from across the screen. Oh
Yep.
god. Oh my god.
And I would just spam it and then just wait until they got frustrated playing with like Ryu or Chun Li, and and then I would win, and they would get really pissy with me.
I remember the very first time as a kid that my brother as Guile flash kicked my crouch fierce as Dhalsim, and I was like, well, this character sucks now. That is bullshit. Why are you able to hit me from across the screen? That doesn't seem right. I should be invincible. Like I was like hot about it. I was like, well, this character fucking sucks. I'm the Zangief and Blanca, and then I've just been a fucking filthy grappler degenerate ever since.
I actually had a friend who started fucking doing E Honda shit to me every time I would pick Dhalsim in Super Turbo. They would just throw up hands every time they would think I'd throw out Fierce, and I'd just be like, oh, well, I guess that's my run. It was nice playing.
So, like, that's the one thing that a lot of people... ST is more about matchups than it is about, like, a straight-up tier list. At least, I don't know, that's how I've felt about it, and I've recently seen some other people talking about it, with the exception of, like T-Hawk, because T-Hawk kind of sucks. But like, even as much as I love T-Hawk, like T-Hawk sucks. And like Zangief in ST is not the best. But I love him, I love him as a character. But yeah, man, like I don't know, you would pick someone like Dhalsim, and then now you have to deal with Honda shit, and you have to deal with like Vega shit as Dhalsim. I don't know, man, like Balrog and shit like that. Like, when you pick Balrog and then someone goes, okay, well, I'm going with Sagat. Ah, fuck! Like, alright. I'm having no fun for 2 games.
ST is just like that game where your character has extremely specific things, and if you don't have a counter, you're just fucked.
Yeah, straight up. Like, you're straight up fucked.
Just accept the L, because it's just going to make your life, faster and easier at that point.
Oh, my God in heaven. That's the other thing too about ST that a lot of people get wrong, and it makes me fucking batshit crazy when they're like, I just want a straight up honest game with no gimmicks like Street Fighter 2 Turbo ST. And I'm like, you've never fucking played Super Turbo in your life, have you? No gimmicks. Get the fuck out of here. Have fun dying after like Fierce Hadokens and automatic stun. Have fun dying. Like, if you get hit by a Fierce and a Fireball, alright, well, get ready for the next round because you're fucking done. Like,
this one combo straight to death.
Yeah, get ready for Guile handcuffs for someone that doesn't give a fuck. Like, get ready for that.
Guile has no reason to live. Goodbye.
I just want an honest game. Well, you're playing the wrong fucking game then.
Never believe anyone who says that almost any fighting game is honest. Because if it's honest, I guarantee you it's boring.
Yeah, it's... I don't want to throw shade at Fantasy Strike because I enjoy Fantasy Strike. So what's that fucking awful robot fighting game that came out years and fucking whatever that free to play robot game.
The Chinese one?
Yeah, that game was boo boo butt cheeks.
I know what it is, and that's gonna drive me crazy.
Fucking hold on. The Google machine free to play fighting game. Killer Instinct. No. Fun free fighting games for everyone. No, that's not what I want. Oh my god, this was a bad idea. This is a...
You're going down the Google rabbit hole here, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, during a fucking show, I'm like, fucking, I'll just go down this rabbit hole. What's the worst that could happen? Then I ended up on some weird fucking King.com game of like Flash fighting it. Rising Thunder. God, there it is. That game is just... It's not bad. It's just... It's boiled chicken breast with no salt. That's what that game is. Like, yeah, it does what I need it to do, but Jesus Christ in heaven, is it boring as fuck?
Yeah, it's definitely not a fun ride along the way. At least not for me, it was.
Yeah, no, it's fucking not. All right, so I guess we'll get off of that for a second, because I want to find out more about you, more about Velius the person. So in my snooping, or what I like to call a background check and fact finding, uh, I found your blog that you were writing where you at the time you were covering the Washington Justice. Um, I think that's right. Yeah, the Washington Justice, which is an Overwatch pro team. So what took you down the writing path? Is that something that you were like looking forward to as a career, like being a journalist and covering video games, or was that just something that you took up as a hobby?
So I've actually done a lot of professional writing. Uh, Mostly as like a, I don't know why, but I was just bored in college, and I decided to just write for my college newspaper, despite the fact that I wasn't going for a journalism degree or anything. So I'd just write these long articles and stuff and get paid like I got paid $10 an article when I was in college. And
That's that's a case of beer. So like I can't complain.
so I was hired to write one article per week, and then I could get paid. Basically, I was being incentivized. If I wrote more articles, I would get paid exponentially more based on how many were published during that week, right? And my interest never really waned after college, but I knew that I wouldn't be focusing on it as a career, so I took up blogging. Um, Also, while I was in college, uh, I guess I should have used this for a little known fact about me. Back when Tumblr was still a website that was actually popular, I was actually the editor in chief of one of the biggest video game blogs on there for a few years, and that's also something that ties into the writing part. Um, so it's just something that I've always been interested in doing. It's like a nice creative outlet in a lot of ways, even if it's just talking about what's been happening or analyzing stuff in like the news. Like what does it mean for what are the contexts? When I was talking about the Washington Justice, it was my own kind of personal challenge to see if I could adapt my writing style to try to just get in line with like modern day esports really, and see if because I watch a shit ton of hockey and baseball in my personal time, so it's like could I adapt this towards like Overwatch? Like, would it be possible? Could I like look at these individual stat lines and try to get like anything useful? Could I make it interesting to write about? And the short answer to that is not really. Like in for Overwatch especially, the type of information that you get is like heavily biased in a lot of ways, and a lot of it's not particularly useful. You have a lot of like standout statistics in certain areas that aren't necessarily indicative unless they're like, especially before the role queuing came out, it was just like how much damage did they block, how much damage did this person do during the round, and especially when goats was still the thing. It was just like when I was watching Overwatch League to write on the Justice, it was almost the same thing week after week of like analyzing the exact same play styles, maybe seeing like a Sombra get thrown in to try to, take down a tank or something if they were confident that they could run it. But it was, for me, writing about that was a failed experiment, but one that I'm kind of grateful for trying, at least to just experiment.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something that you say it's a failed experiment, but the important thing is that you went out and you tried it, and that you tried to make something happen, or at least you did something. And a lot of people don't have that ability to be like, I'm going to at least try this. A lot of people go, I wish I could do this. I don't know where to start, so I'm just not going to. But the fact that you tried, and there isn't just like you wrote 3 articles and called it quits. Like I'm scrolling down and there's like a page upon page upon page
Yeah.
that you went through for a while.
Yeah.
So as much as you want to say it's a failed experiment, the important thing to remember is that you accomplished something by at least doing this. Whether or not it turned out to be the world changing website that you wanted it to be is a different story. But the fact that you did create this and that you did put your heart into this is a very important piece of history of yourself.
Yeah.
Because
I've just been trying to like, I wanted to also incorporate fighting games into it because fighting games and being really involved in playing and trying to also like analyze fighting games to a certain extent and talk about what's going on with the industry. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's obvious how I've lambasted Capcom's business decisions,
Hmm.
especially when they rolled out the sponsored ads, is something that I was heavily critical of.
Yeah.
But that was kind of my space to, you know, because my thing is I'm like a default Street Fighter player in a lot of ways. It's a series that I actually played longer than Final Fantasy even if it's only casually. So it's just kind of my natural state of being is playing Street Fighter games. So I want the game series to do well, and I want it to do things that I can respect as a person, as a player.
Hmm.
And it's just always disappointing to see it being handled so, in my opinion, improperly. And all I want for it is to do well, and it doesn't seem like that's a shared sentiment, which makes me sad in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's
So this blog was a place for me to like voice my discontent without it being like a super personal kind of I don't even know how to describe it. I didn't want to just be on the internet and complaining. I wanted to present an argument as to why, like sponsored ads are tacky and bad, and here's why kind of scenario.
mhm. Yeah, I there was a when the ads first came out, Joe Monday had an excellent like anecdotal story for himself where he was like, "This is why this makes me uncomfortable," and I don't want to like trample over his words or like take his story and report it, but I mean he's put it out in the ether on Twitter and on the RSF Radio podcast, so I'm just repeating what he said, albeit not verbatim because like my memory is not that great. But when the ads first come out, one of his big things was he didn't like the idea of targeted ads because he was watching his nephew play a mobile game on his, I think his sister's phone or the parent's phone, and there was an ad for a product that like directly targeted at the kid's face. And when he looked, the kid was drinking a juice that was directly that exact same targeted ad. And so he put it together and was like, "Oh, that's probably why like the kid wants this thing because it's blasted into his face." And like the sooner that we normalize that for everyone, it gets really fucking weird to be like, "This, buy this. Like this is part of your life. You need this." And when you're playing Street Fighter, and if you're a crazy person like me who plays 3 to 4 hours a day for practice, and you're seeing 70, 80 of those ads, every single match, it imprints in your brain. And those targeted ads become dangerous after so long. I mean, not for the corporations that want them live, um, but for consumers, it's just it feels weird and manipulative. And
It
I
also sets a pretty like dangerous precedent. Like, yeah, they only focused on Street Fighter content, but what's stopping them from incorporating other stuff later down the line? Like
yeah,
there's really no once you implement it, there's no going back. So you could start using it for anything you wanted to at that point. And that's I remember him recounting that story. I have a lot of respect for Joe Monday as well.
hmm,
And I remember listening to him talk about it, and I don't have any personal story like that to relate to myself, but I saw the point that he was talking about and thinking, God, what if they started just advertising like Devil May Cry and then just selling that space instead of, you know, companies trying to sell you bounty on TV. Now it's going to be in Street Fighter 5. Like, could you imagine?
yeah. The one thing that I wish they would do because like it is not a secret. They're like it's not like locals and events like Michigan Masters that aren't like on the CPT Pro Tour and stuff like that. It is not a secret that these events exist and are a big reason for a lot of people's success and group bonding and finding friends. Like they're an integral part of the FGC. So there's a part of me that wishes that if Capcom was going to use those ads, they would sell it for locals and be like I know it's shitty, but like throw us $50 and we will run your local like before like a ranked match starts. Instead of that splash screen with like buy these costumes, which whatever, I understand you got to make a buck too, But fucking locals support these fighting games. Like if the Detroit FGC was like, "Hey, here's $50, run like a splash screen that says here's when our locals are, here's like what time, pay this money to show up," like that would be fucking awesome to help the community. Because how many times do we see people go, "I wish I had a local, I don't know where to start." And if they're already playing Street Fighter V and one of their locals pops up like, boom, here's something in fucking the Ozark, Arkansas that I didn't know existed until right now. Good for me because I would have never found this, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like there are so many opportunities for that. And I feel really awful, by the way, because I keep on going like using my relaxed language. So I'm sorry if I sound like I'm using masculine pronouns. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really not. I'm just that's how I fucking talk. It's just
No, it's okay.
Just rolling out of my fucking mouth right now because I'm getting upset about Capcom's mishandling of a lot of shit. As a game, I think Street Fighter V is in a great place. The shit around the game makes me go, come the fuck on. Like from like Capcom proper makes me go like, Jesus Christ. It makes me grit my teeth.
That's where the source of my frustration is too, because it has less to do with the game itself. Because I actually, actually love Gil. I love Seth. I wouldn't like take them to tournament myself, but I have fun playing them.
Right.
And the changes that they made to all the characters, like boosting almost everyone's health and stun, and really just making you work a little bit harder, try to like adapt a little bit more to what your opponent is doing, rather than just hammering home the same combos and shit over and over again. I think the game is in a great state right now, but I'm so distracted and frustrated by the other shenanigans. It makes me enjoy the game less. And now I really only play it with friends because I just get too frustrated thinking about the extracurriculars, and that's not what I want to have happen to a game series I've been playing for so long. But here we are.
Right. And I completely like. I if I'm being like front facing about this, Street Fighter V is my favorite fighting game of all time. And I didn't think I would say that until a couple months ago when I really realized how much the game means to me and stuff like that. But with that being said, I 100% understand why people go, this shit makes me uncomfortable, this shit makes me not like the game. And I understand. I get why people would be like, this isn't for me, or like, it's for me, but how you guys are handling it's fucking weird. Because it is. It's fucking weird. Fucking speak up. Like, ban infiltration. Jesus fuck. Like, come on.
It should be the most obvious thing to do, and
fuck infiltration,
not
man.
Been done.
Yeah, like never ever. Like, fuck that dude. Fuck Chris G. Like the shit that Chris G said about black women playing fighting games. Fuck Chris G. Like for real. Like what a fucking asshole. I fucking speak up and say something, because when you tout people and you're like, this is the awesome stuff we do for the community. Like, we're proud to have these women in the FGC and support our game and be on the scene, blah, 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 blah. And then you have specifically those two examples, like, on your fucking highlight reels. You need to stop. Like, stop and look at what the fuck is happening. Like, give a shit. Or at least pretend to give a shit. Because it's very fucking off-putting. And I'm not happy about it. But let's curb my anger. It's all about me. Let's curb my anger. And I didn't put this in the questions, but because it kind of just sprang to my mind because I wasn't thinking about it at the time. So let's say you revive the blog, right? You bring it back. Mm-hmm. I know it's been kind of, I'm not going to say dead, but we'll say stagnant. You haven't posted anything for a couple months since you've joined Yace. Yes. But let's say you pick it back up with a focus on fighting games. Is there a specific type of article that you would want to write about fighting games in order to get people like, hey, this is what's happening in the world of X, Y, and Z for like whatever games? Or is writing about fighting games just a thing that you're just like, I'm not going to focus on that, I don't think. Like, it's not worth it.
For the most part, I think I would like to have a much less like focused on one particular game kind of approach. I play a lot of different fighting games, and a lot of it is, that social element is the one thing that I really appreciate the most about the scene. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I actually give a shit about games having good netcode, so I can actually play with my friends who live in fucking California and Michigan and everywhere else that I don't live.
Right.
So, having a decent netcode is part of a core experience for me because a lot of my friends who play fighting games are not in my state, and having the ability to play across the country is an extremely important aspect of fighting games for me. And I feel like I could write about this more thoroughly about the importance of netcode, but for the most part, I think I would focus less on one game specifically if I was to revive the blog, and I would focus on a lot more of like the social element, a lot more of like the business element, a lot more of like maybe occasionally going into analyzing certain things about specific games. Um, but I don't think I would ever limit myself to only talking about one game in particular, especially when there's so many resources that go into detail much better about like the intricacies of a specific game. I would want to be talking a little bit more openly about like the certain qualities of maybe certain anime games and why they work versus why they don't work in other examples, or like maybe comparing different types of why why Eunice is fundamentally different from games like Guilty Gear, like the Examu games. Like Six Stars is a very fundamentally different game from Eunice. So I think I would want to keep it to being able to, especially because I'm by no means a fucking expert in any game, so it makes it difficult for me to
Hey, you and me both.
really. But I just don't want to be like a technical resource, especially when there's so much already out there, like all the wikis, all the discords, all the tech that gets put like everywhere else. I'd rather focus on making it like on the social occasions and kind of just talking about how certain things impact the community, like things that happen at major events, or certain storylines. Like Go One and Sonic Fox was a huge thing for Dragon Ball Fighters when it
Oh
was
yeah.
going on. So I would want to just be able to talk openly about those things and their importance to the scene. If I,
Yeah.
if I was to revive the blog, that would be what I would probably focus on the most.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's a lot of what we're missing too. So if the revival ever happens, if you ever resuscitate the blog, I'll be excited to see where you go with it, because I feel like that's a lot of stuff that we're missing as far as like content for the fighting game community. So if it ever happens, I'm excited to see it. If it doesn't, then fuck it, it'll be fine.
Well, there will always be storylines. There will always be people talking on Twitter. So.
Right. That's fuck, man. We need some kind of the Velius blog revival. That's what I like. The VBR. Born on the Blogsphere. Jesus Christ in heaven. No one is gonna know that's a CCR joke except for like the three of us. Dead man. Yeah. Fuck. Hey. This is Sriracha Flash interacting with the chat, which is a good time to remind everyone listening on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and whatnot in the future. We are a Twitch show. This is where we broadcast for the most part. Normally we do these on Tuesdays and Thursdays around 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern. Today is a special Friday episode with Velius here. But we are live on twitch.tv/SrirachaFlash. So if you are listening to a post-recorded episode in the future, feel free to join us. I generally tweet when things are going to go live, so follow me, twitter.com/SrirachaFlash if you're interested in following the show. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, a 5-star review goes a long way in helping this show grow and giving more exposure to the people that are on this show, which is the point of the show in the first place. But that being said, if you do hear us interacting with the chat or asking questions of the chat, that's exactly what's happening, is we're doing that because we are live on Twitch. That being said, back to the show with Velius. So, you got invited to Yace in September of last year, August of last year?
September, yes.
September? Okay. So, what was it like to get that invitation, and how did that come about?
So I was actually like very surprised. I had been friends with, especially Morg was the first that I met on Twitter, and then I believe it was Jarv and then Jay, if I remember correctly. It's a big fucking blur at this point because I've known a number of them for a while now, and I've been in their Discord for quite a long time, um, and just trying to figure out where my place in the FGC was, and then come September, uh, they extended me an invitation, and I was kind of on cloud fucking nine because I didn't ever think that any team, no matter like who it was, would extend me an invitation until I got like at least good at something, you know. But for the most part, I think it really comes from just having a particular type of personality, um, having a certain approach to fighting games and just other people in general that really impacted, like why they would even extend me an invitation if I'm not good at Street Fighter, I'm not good at, Mortal Kombat, not good at Guilty Gear. I'm still learning a lot of stuff, but they were kind enough to offer me the invitation into, what looks to be and is a much exclusive kind of family of fighting game players, and I get the privilege of being alongside every single one of my teammates, and it makes me very happy to be part of that network. And I just want to do my best to to represent our team and try to be the best that I can be within the community and even outside the community as such.
Well, you've done an excellent job so far. You represent Yace well. You like since we've known each other the last couple months, year. I don't know. I don't know time. Time's a flat circle. But you've been incredibly kind to me. Always super respectful to everyone that I see you interact and talk to. Always super chill in the Discords and on Twitter. Within reason. When people like need their shit talked to, like you talk to them. But like, I feel like you represent Yace well. Both in gameplay because we've had some good matches in Street Fighter Five, but also as a person, I feel like you represent them really well. So congrats to you.
Hey. Try very hard.
Hey, look, it's fucking as someone who now that was brought to my attention has to represent a brand, which is fucking gross, and I hate that. Like I fucking hate the idea of Sriracha Flash as a brand, like because then like the minute that Sriracha Flash the character is very different from like Jose the person, oh I'm fucked. Cause like I cannot keep up those appearances. Like I'm never getting signed to an actual team. Like I'm not worried about that shit. Like UYU is never calling to be like we want to host or we want to sponsor some random. So be like, are you sure? Do you listen to the show? Like are you absolutely positive? And the minute that they're like, yeah, we'd love to, but here's what has to change, I'd be like, oh fuck this. Like that's never happening. I'm still gonna tweet about eating ass. Like that's not like it's never going away. Like I can't not do that.
I don't know if you tweet about eating ass, you might actually have G Fuel trying to sponsor some random.
Listen, fucking G Fuel, where you at? Because I've already tweeted it. I ate ass on the first day of the year, like January 1st, like on the dot. It's a special occasion. Fucking G Fuel, where's my money? I listen. All right, maybe. All right, calm down, Jose. I'm fucking not gonna talk about going down someone with G Fuel all over my face, but but it's all the ether. So like, if y'all want an ad, let me know. But anyway, but going forward with Yace, what games are you looking to play outside of Third Strike and Street Fighter V representing Yace? Or are you? I know we kind of had a little bit of a talk about this earlier, but being in a position where you're like, I don't know what the fuck I want to play.
So that's kind of the position I'm in right now. Is that like it's not that I'm giving up Street Fighter V, but I've definitely had to relegate it to be less of a thing in my own life. Like everything that's just the supposed netcode fix. I'm one of the people who I haven't seen like any real benefit from the supposed fix. I don't have like the best internet. Like I'm not my internet's not bad, but I'm also not like one of those top 10 percenters in this country that can afford good internet.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a lot of the one-sided rollbacks that, it fucks me over. So I'm at the point now where I've reached my limit and I have to take a step back before I get too frustrated. So I've been having this existential crisis in a lot of ways where I'm trying to figure out what game it is I want to like really focus on the most. So I've been waiting for Grand Blue Versus to come out in the States and really see how I feel about that. King of Fighters 15 is supposed to come out this year. I still think it's on for this year. That's one that I'm like really looking forward to, and I'm really hoping that it's good because I would love to see what SNK comes up with, and hopefully the netcode is improved over 14 because that's one of the reasons why I never got into 14 very much either.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the two like most hopeful for me personally is Grand Blue and King of Fighters 15. And there's always Third Strike. I'm always down to play more Third Strike with cool people.
Oh hell yeah! Well that just means that we have to get together and play Third Strike sometime. Is all that I'm
Basically.
hearing. So all right. Well then I guess let's focus on Third Strike for a second because I'm always very curious about who people play. Who are you maining in Third Strike?
Well, I am a known asshole who plays Chun Li.
Oh,
I don't care.
All right, never mind. Next question. I'm fucking. Oh, look at me. I'm Velius. I'm just gonna go to the corner and build meter with back fears. Oh, I'm so clever. So clever. Just can't wait to whip these normals and build meter like an asshole.
To be fair, I also just play. I also play Ken when I actually want to, have fun.
Well, all right. As someone who plays Hugo like a dumbass, like I don't. Fuck all of you and your viable characters.
I mean, honestly, like when I first got introduced into like playing fighting games more competitively, I was playing a lot more zoners, but I cannot fucking play Remy. I can't do it. It's impossible in 3S. You can't fucking do it.
No one can play Remy. No one can play Remy well. Like it doesn't have. No one's winning a tournament with Remy. Like there was that co-op cup like a couple years back where I forget the name, but someone like OCV'd with Q. Like that's totally fine. Like Q can do that. Remy's not doing that. Remy doesn't have that shit. Like no one's playing Remy at our top tier level. Just not happening.
Well, the thing is about Remy is that when you play Remy, you're not only fighting against another player and against another character, you're literally fighting against the game's mechanics. Everything is working against you in Third Strike as Remy. Your projectiles are just shit, and there's nothing else that you can do. You don't have any like good, decent options. You don't really have any decent tools. If they get up close, you're fucked.
But Velius, you have a low fireball. Doesn't that make you like decent? No.
No, because you just parry the shit.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking mean anything. Like that shit works on your friend who's never touched Street Fighter, like or who's never. I shouldn't say Street Fighter. Who's never touched Third Strike before? Like. Your friend that's never touched Third Strike and you want to throw like fireballs with Remy and they don't know how to parry, like perfectly fine. The minute that you touch someone who's like played the game for an hour, you're like, fuck. Like, all right, so Remy sucks. Like yeah. Remy and Sean like just sit in the fucking bottom of the barrel together.
Yep.
Poor Sean. Sean got nerfed for no reason. That poor bastard.
It's so great in Second Impact, and then the nerf happened.
I just saw a GIF the other day where someone was like, "Oh, I found out that you can fucking knock Sean's volleyball or his basketball away," and I was like, "What in the? Why the fuck? Why would you do that? Like, why is that a thing? Why are you ever able to hit away the basketball like as it comes on the screen? Like Alex is just like doing jump medium punch and knocks that fucker clean off the screen, and I was like, "Oh, that's so rude." Oh,
That is Sean's lot in life in Third Strike. That's everything gets blocked. You just get blocked. That's it.
It's
gone.
It's so sad. It's so sad. I'm alright. For anyone that's listening to this now, like I'm gonna put it in the Twitch chat. It's gonna be a link in the fucking in the video. I just realized this guy's name. This fucking.
Oh god, yeah. Oh the Lord.
You know what? I regret that immediately. Regret everything about this. Oh fucking hell! Sound. That was bad. Hey. Fucking hope that doesn't get. It only played for like a half a second. It's fine. But yeah, fucking poor Alex, just like fucking over Sean. Poor Sean. All right, so you're an asshole. What?
A low tier character just absolutely wrecks an even lower tier character.
Yeah.
It's just sad to watch.
Oh my! You guys are supposed to rise up together. Like you're not like don't let the rich keep eating. God damn it! Oh my god! Fucking. Oh, I'm so brokenhearted. Anyways, so you're an asshole Chun-Li player. Hope you feel good about yourself. But I will say I'll throw it to the chat now. Chat, if you have any questions for Velius that you would like to ask, now is your time. This is your opportunity. If you have anything that you want to say, anything you want to respond to anything that we've talked about, anything you want to ask us at all, please feel free to throw it in the chat now while I ask Velius these last two questions before we wrap it up and get out of here. What has been your favorite story to come out of the FGC since you've been a part of the competitive scene?
That is such a tricky question.
I know. And now, mind you, it doesn't have to be something like that you aren't a part of. Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I appreciate like the Goichi and Sonic Fox. Like, even if it's just like we fucking played in a garage and like my friend made s'mores. Like, that kind of story is perfectly fine too. Like, it doesn't need to be some grandiose Evo story.
Well, for me personally, I have like a very specific flashbulb memory of joining Yace's Discord back in I think it was like January 2018 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like being too shy to say a goddamn thing for like a full month.
If that's not the realest shit. Oh my god.
I was just sat in there watching everyone's conversations and watching everyone have a good time, talk to each other, and I'm just sitting there just like and just waiting for my chance to start shit posting, basically.
Yeah, just waiting for that opening. Like I'm fucking the first time I can. Yeah, it's well because for me, I'm not. I won't say that I'm an introvert. Like I'm a pretty extroverted person. But going into a Discord where you're like, I gotta feel out the room for a little bit before I can just be like, hey, like here's my fucking weird brand of shit. I don't know, it's weird.
And especially knowing like how close, especially now, like having much more like specific details of how close everyone in Yace is. I'm just like, so I know this is a very tight knit community. How am I supposed to weasel my way in here now?
Yeah, like what do I do? Like what? But I mean, the cool thing about Yace and your guys' organization is that they're very open and welcoming. So even for me, when I popped in and I was like, "What up?" Like, this is what I'm doing. Everyone was immediately like, "Hey, what's going on? You're kind of loud, but fucking thanks for coming around."
We all just shitpost all the time. We all like to,
Yeah.
make fun about everything that is, easy to make fun of. And
That's the best, honestly. Like,
we just like having a good time. That's what it comes down to. We just want to have a good time and play some good games.
Yeah, for real. And it's awesome. And that, I don't know. At first you would think, oh, like everyone shit posts, like it's kind of a weird, like it's just a subsection of R Kappa. But it's really not, because it's just like actual goofy shit posts where everyone's just like having a good time without being at the expense of others. And so I don't know. It's a fun place to be. Yace is the place to be.
Yace is the place.
Yace is the place. All right, so I will accept that as your favorite story from the FGC because I have this fucking novella from Dadman that I have to read you as a question. All right, so a pair of small sticky hands smack small knickknacks on a coffee table all around, bouncing off the screen. You just started up Smashy Hands, the fighting game where you choose small novelties, tchotchkes, and even food to be smashed against your opponent's choice by two disembodied child mitts. What strange goo-covered not toy, grandparent drawer filler, do you choose to smack against your opponents? Easy. The fucking butter cookies tin. The butter cookies tin is OP. Oh my, that thing opens up like, it's got like needles and sewing equipment popping out of the fucking thing like as a projectile. It's like, I'm the butter cookie tin 100%. Like that's what my grandparent drawer filler item is. Oh my god, what a question.
I'm definitely going for the silverware drawer myself.
Oh yeah, you got.
All these ornate, like late 1800s, early 1900s silverware. Oh, it's so sharp. You can't not sharpen it, man. Like
It's
every
like
time it cuts your
authentic.
teeth open every time you eat with them. It's amazing.
Oh, the authentic like silver ones. Like you could kill a werewolf. Oh, that's the
that's how
shit
that's
right
how we
there.
really are gonna fight off everyone from Twilight. It's like, oh, I got my grandmother's fork, man. Don't get any closer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, why don't you try the mashed potatoes with this specific fork right here? That's shinier than everyone else's. Oh yeah.
Oh God.
That being said, if I'm not if I like let's say we're like Street Fighter League rules and my butter cookie tin gets banned, then I am my grandpa's pocket knife that's been in there for 50 years and he keeps forgetting where it is. Like the pocket knife also OP, like good up close. Struggles at a range can be kept out by characters such as the butter tin and and the silverware drawer. Has a little bit of trouble with like specifically grandma's hand knitted oven mitts who have like dulcim like range. But that being said, once grandpa's pocket knife gets in, like it's over, like it's game over. Like that's don't let Honda in because it's over.
It's the true rushdown.
Oh yeah, he really is. Oh, the 45-year-old fishing lure. It's a funny thing about the fishing lure. Actually low tier. A lot of people don't know this. The problem with the 45-year-old fishing lure is that it's kind of rusted at this point. Up close game, not great. It's really a set play character in a game that revolves around a lot of rushdown and like invincible DPs and getting out of free pressure that the fishing lure has. The hard candy also lower tier. A lot of people, they have a lot of respect for the hard candy. It's been around for a long time. Kind of like Ryu, kind of mid. It'll get you where you need to be, but it's not going to do anything spectacular. And that's just where the hard candy falls on the tier list, unfortunately. Thank you, Deadman.
Can I admit one thing about the hard candy though? You know
Yeah.
those strawberry hard candies?
Yes.
I unironically love those fucking things.
Okay. All right. Those strawberry hard candies that come in they're like a little pouch of strawberry and you unwrap the fucking thing. Those are
Yeah.
delicious. Underrated candy. Oh my
They are
god.
low key so good. Like I actually pretend to hate them so that old people give me more whenever I'm forced to interact with people I don't want to talk with, and they're just like, I'll just be sitting there, and they'll just be like, "Oh, you youngsters just all fucking hate these hard candies, don't you?" And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, those are the strawberry ones, right? I fucking hate those things."
I can't stand them, Grandma. Like, please, no more.
And then they just throw the whole fucking bag at me. I'm just like, "Oh no, whatever will I do?"
Yeah, it's fucking go. I'm going to town. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Those and like the what are they? The Werther's originals. Oh, fuck me, man. Those are some good candies. I could go to town on some Werther's originals. I think I've given myself like a canker sore just sucking on Werther's for like 4 hours at a time. Like, oh my god, the
The
worst.
ironic part is that the last time I had one of those, one of the Werthers was at a dentist office. I'm like, this seems counterintuitive.
You are not good at your job. Why are these? Why are you giving me a lollipop after I'm done with my dental exam? Something is not adding up here. You guys are bad at this. I don't
Actually,
appreciate.
that is brilliant late stage capitalism. They're bringing me right back. I'm gonna have to come back here to fill this cavity.
Oh my god, I never thought of it that way. They're so much smarter than I am. They're like, yeah, no problem. Like, you shouldn't eat sweets, but in case you want some, like, here's some right outside the door. Do you want a sticker? No. The lollipop? Of course you do. You stupid.
Take 3 while you're at it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't give one to your friends. Like, I'm not gonna give these to my friends. I want this fucking butterscotch dum dum. Like, that's mine. Oh man.
Or the Tootsie Roll Pops. Good lord.
All right. So what's the best colored Tootsie Roll Pop?
Blue.
A day after my own heart. Because yeah, I can make that one work, you fuckers. A day after my own heart. That's fucking put that on a t-shirt. Fucking Sriracha Flash original there. Yeah, the blue Tootsie Roll Pops are the fucking best things. The blue Tootsie Roll Pops and the have you ever had the caramel apple like suckers that are like a big hard chunk of green like covered in caramel?
I have not, because I actually do not like caramel at all.
Oh my god! Show over. How the listen.
Because I can feel like it's stuck to my teeth, and then I start getting paranoid that it's never gone.
Caramel is like, dog. That is. my wife is like, hey, like, what do you want for a dessert? And I'm like, oh, I don't care. She's like, it has caramel on it. I'm like, obviously that's what I want. You know that's what I want. Give me the caramel thing. Like, and, all right. And then Dadman in the chat is saying caramel. Well, you don't say shaquel, so it is what it is. What? Thank you. All right, thank you to my wonderful son who just brought me a caramel apple pop from his bedroom.
Man, you got the hookup over there.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't like. Motherfucker just came out and was like, here, pop this shit in my lap. Like, I didn't even know we had these in the house. Unfortunately, I can't eat it right now because I'm doing a show, trying to be professional, you asshole. That's how you talk to a 17-year-old. No, he knows. He knows that I love him. He's 17. Like, what the fuck? Like, I talk to him better than his friends do. Just got to be respectful of his boundaries.
You always bully the ones you love.
Exactly. And it's not bullying. Like, it's not. I mean, unless it is, and then I'll be like, oh, like, I'm really sorry that you have Stockholm Syndrome, and, like, that's why you love me. But I don't think it is. He's probably fine. We'll find out when we go to the therapist, and they're like, actually, you fucked him up. And be like, but I love him, so it's okay. I've always supported him, goddammit. Isn't that enough? But off of the weird candy debate that Dadman sparked with his fucking made-up video game, which I always appreciate. Dadman gets more and more creative with these fucking things every time. But on to our last question. At least the last question for me. If the chat has any more questions for Velius, please feel free to throw them out there, and we'll gladly take them. But Velius, what is on your mind lately? This is your open platform. I will get off my soapbox and allow you to gladly stand on top of it. To get on the soapbox and talk about whatever's going on in your brain, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you feel. This is your opportunity now.
I think the important thing to remember, especially since we're at a kind of juncture. I wanted to keep this one to fighting games a little bit because we're at a point where we have seen multiple companies try to esports up fighting games. And the thing is that I don't see it working myself. I see a lot of like sales happening. Yeah. I don't see a lot of retention of things in the community that I think should be there. And I think part of that is we've accepted this standard of just people not treating each other well. We've just come to expect dudes filtration in the community. We've expected these horrible, shitty comments. And I wanted to shout out, like Cuddlecore and Alicia Life for really like stepping up and just fucking shining a light on the whole fucking thing about how hard it is for even people with notoriety just to deal with this shit on the day-to-day, Like,
oh, yeah, it's horrendous. Have you ever seen, like, Xanos or the Purple Sharpies mentions? Like...
Yeah. Oh God, it's a fucking shitstorm.
Man, the fucking minute that someone like any female steps on stream for a game, the fucking chat like savages, like heathens that have never been domesticated by like society, just the worst of the worst comes out, and
it really does.
We've beaten this fucking dead horse 1,000 times about like treating women with respect in the FGC, but we fucking have to keep doing it because you fucking animals are like, you see a woman on screen and you're immediately like, I can't fucking contain myself. Like, get a hold of your shit, please, for the love of God, treat women with respect in the scene. And we wouldn't have to keep having this talk and this conversation if shit wasn't coming out literally every day about how women are treated in the scene. And then when we have panels like women of the FGC panel at Evo, and people go, why the fuck do we need that? That's bullshit, blah, 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 blah. This shit is why. When we have women just getting dick pics sent to them because they play a fighting game that you also enjoy, when we have women who are disrespected and, if they are a woman, are asked if they're a trans man, or, formerly a man, now a trans woman, when we have, like, when you treat these people with disrespect like this, and then you go, we don't need to do anything differently, this is a man's world, women have to adapt to it. Fuck you. Like, fuck all the way off. I have no respect for you. Get the fuck out of the scene. You will never convince me otherwise. Absolutely not. That we shouldn't treat women with respect. Get the fuck out of here. We have no space for that. And I'm sorry, I'm hot. Like I'm mad now. But
No, because that's actually exactly how I feel. I mean, like I don't know if you remember, but RSF, they retweeted a clip from Phantom Mary like last week or a week or two ago. I was actually in her stream when some dude came in there being all weird, saying that there was no way that she could be a trans woman because it would make it so that he couldn't jerk off to her, and he was saying this shit in chat,
what the
and
fuck?
then yeah, and he gets banned, and we're all like pointing and laughing at him, but at the same time, it's like this is just the standard of people to expect when they're even just it was her fucking stream, like dude comes in here and says this shit on her own stream.
I just why? Why are people like this? Like what in the fuck?
And
What?
this is the kind of standard that I wish was not the standard in the FGC, but
Yeah.
it's a day-to-day reality for a lot of people, and I believe we as a community need to start taking more active steps to be better. And that means if Capcom, if SNK, if ArcSys, who the fuck ever, it doesn't fucking matter. If these corporations will not take care of us because we can't expect them to, the corporations, then we need to prioritize our community above that. We need to be more active and we need to be more vigilant about protecting people in our community because that's what makes it a community. We're not fucking cheerleaders for people. We show up and we play games that we love. We show up and play games that we even if we just want to play them with our friends, even if we just don't care about the games themselves per se, and we just want to hang out with our friends and play Unist or play Mortal Kombat, what the fuck ever, it doesn't matter. But we're not here to be cheerleaders. We're
Right.
here to protect ourselves and each other, and we need to be more active in doing that.
Yeah. And it's not hard. And you don't want to react extremely naively at first. The very first step that someone should take with someone like that is try to explain to them like you have to understand that what you're doing is wrong. Because immediate backlash results in more negative backlash, and like we kind of don't see eye to eye eventually. So the most important thing that a lot of people can do is when you see someone doing this or saying this, if you know that person, pull them aside and be like, "Hey, this shit isn't right." Kind of break it down. Past that, if they like take what you say and they go, "Don't give a shit," then you can be like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like ban them from the scene. Like fuck them. Like we have no space for that. You get one shot. Well, I'll say two shots because the first time you already fucked up. The second time when we gave you the opportunity to change and grow, and you go, "Meh, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what I want to do." We don't have any space for you. I'm sorry. Like we don't need that. We're not gonna hurt because you decide to not show up anymore. The scene will not need your $10. I promise you. I don't give a fuck. Sorry, upsetting, but
It's all good because those are exactly my thoughts. Like
yeah,
that's exactly where we are as a community, and we've had the at this point, and like the one thing I wanted to bring up earlier that I said like at the very beginning of this show, one of the reasons why I never got into the FGC earlier was actually something that happened a very long time ago when Melee was a new game. Um, so I'm from Maryland. I've lived here my whole life, and the thing is that I had a group of friends that would play Melee like religiously.
mm,
Like we played all the fucking time. I would never have considered myself like a competitive player, but the thing is that I wasn't like out when I was in high school, but people, in high school and people are assholes in high school all the time. So the thing is that there was someone who claimed to be part of, like the local scene. I don't know for sure if this dude was or not, but the thing is that this dude found out that I was playing, and I'm going to use a hateful word here because I want to recreate exactly what it was that he said to me,
mm,
and he told me stop playing faggot. And the thing is that immediately set me off from. I was determined not to join any community that condoned that kind of shit.
right,
And I don't, like I said, I don't know for sure if he was a member of the community. I I don't know that at all, but there was no one there to be a, good representative and be like, oh, we don't tolerate that. And the thing is that I was even still reluctant in, 2016, 2017, seeing people defend people who should clearly not be in the community and people going to bat for these people, and I was still put off by it. So it is a multifaceted problem that the more that people just sit and let this shit happen, it takes away so much more. Like your community could be so much more inclusive. It could be so much just fucking more chill in general. Like you don't have to accept people just being assholes at events or even just casually to other people. You can boot them. It's part of the whole point of us being a community.
Yeah.
And that's really what we need to do, because a lot of these detrimental attitudes are actively taking away from the community in ways that might not be obvious until you start being more involved with people who are actually chill all the time, and you see, oh, it doesn't have to fucking be this way. I can relax and not feel like someone is whispering slurs about me behind my back.
Hmm. Yeah,
This
that's
that that goes so fucking far in a community, and that's we just need to be so much more active in making sure that that's the way our community is actually being, and not just presenting itself as being anymore.
right. And I understand that taking those steps as a community leader is hard, but I promise you, you are not the first person that will ever have to do it. Shout outs to Jay and Mia, who run Michigan Masters, who have banned people for that type of behavior, and have created a better space because of it. Shout outs to Rick, who runs the Hado, who runs Combo Breaker, who once the sexual assault allegations from Guilty came out, went absolutely not, banned from the fucking scene. Like it is hard. I promise you, it's not easy. That being said, there are steps that you have to take to make your community better, and that is one of them. Is like, if you want to run a scene, you're gonna run into bad apples, and the bad apple spoils the whole fucking pie. you have to cut
It
those
really
things
does.
out. But look, we will take it a little bit lighter. I feel like we've hit some really good notes there. So last question from the chat, and then I'll let you get out of here. How do you prepare for fighting game events? Is
So this is
there?
actually
Yeah.
actually kind of a funny question, because I really don't attend fighting games events.
Ah!
But
I
like in
get
general,
shit faced. Uh,
I mean, it certainly helps sometimes. But in general, just like a lot of events have this inherent like stress to it anyway, that I think is universal, that you like take some time to sit down and just prepare, especially mentally. There's a lot of mental taxation, and if you want to be like genuinely competitive, you got to give yourself a fucking breather. And a lot of people are just like, no, I gotta play, gotta play, gotta play, gotta play, gotta make sure my reflexes are on point, gotta play, gotta play. And the thing is, like, you just need to give yourself a break every now and again. Like, give yourself an actual extended, just sit down and fucking veg or something. Just do something that isn't playing fighting games. It doesn't matter if it's like meditation or going to read a book, just something that lets your muscles ease up. And then it's not that it'll come naturally. You'll want to like still warm up and stuff, but have your process kind of sorted and just relax. Because I mean, events are supposed to be fun and competitive, not just one or the other. So you get to, hang out with your friend, you get to play games, you get to play hopefully some good sets, and just enjoy your time and relax a little bit more. And that's just how I prepare for not just fighting games, but whenever I have to go to like conferences or like training stuff for my job and everything. That's how I prepare for them as well.
Hey, it's solid advice. And I won't take that away from you. That's actually fucking 100%. Take care, as Marshawn Lynch said. Take care of your mentals and take care of your chickens, and then you'll be all good. Fucking shout outs to Marshawn Lynch. What a fucking baller he is. Take care of your mentals. Take care of your chickens. Take care of your body. You'll be fine. No problem. Awesome. Well, look, with that being said, Velius, this has been a fucking wonderful show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
I've had the time of my life tonight. Unfortunately, the beers have worn off, so I have to get more beers. But that being said, if people want to find you on the internet, where can they find you?
So my Twitter is at underscore Velius, and I'm on Twitch at Velius FGC.
Perfect. If you want to find me on the internet, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Amazon wishlist, everything, Sriracha Flash, buy me shit. No, that's the first time I've ever done that one. Now I feel gross saying it. But if you do want to buy my shit, if you want to buy my stuff, there's a fucking a merch link that'll be down below that helps support the show and support everything. That's really cool. That definitely helps pay the bills and keep the lights on and keep the show going. Because sometimes it's fucking tiring dealing with y'all. Not you, Velius. You've been wonderful. But, like, the normal streams, the fighting game streams with these animals, that fucking stress me out. But that's where you can find me on the internet. If you're listening to the show, please consider giving us a rating, sharing us around. If you would like to be on the show, hit me up. DM me. Like, it's that easy. I'm willing and open to have anyone. The only qualification is that you have to actually want to be on the show and have a pulse. That's it. If you want to listen to previous episodes, shout outs to our wonderful web administrator, Dadman, who has helped set up and keep running SrirachaFlash.com, where you can find all previous episodes that have been on the show. But with that being said, I have been Sriracha Flash. This has been Velius. We are going to do what we do at the end of all these shows. We'll go raid someone and give someone our viewers. That's always a fun thing to do. You know, support small communities. That's another big thing. Support small communities. It might not be much, but like your views, your help, it does help out a lot of people in a lot of big ways. So we'll go say hi to our friend Corey Bell, who's currently playing Street Fighter V, I believe. So we'll go say hi to him. Thank you everyone for listening, and have a wonderful night. All right, and then this is like where I just kill time, and I gotta cut this out. I might cut this out of the episode. I might not. Who gives a shit? We're just gonna. Oh, we're going. Okay.